This is the 2025 Buick Enclave Avenir. Is this the ultimate Buick? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I borrowed this Enclave from my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm going to give you the particulars. If you want to know more about this particular model, no pun intended, check out the link down in the description of the video. So the first thing I'm going to do here is lock the interior so you can see the animated headlights and daytime running lights. And then when you unlock the vehicle, you're going to get the same thing. You can see the daytime running lights up top animated, and then the headlights come on down there too. Just a little effect, something that's here, I might as well show you. We have LED daytime running lights, kind of that winged effect here with what we have. And for 2025, this is not the first Buick model to have this, but here is something that's going to be part of the all-new Enclave, which is that new Tri-Shield logo. We actually saw that come out with the Invista last year. So, not something that's absolutely brand new to the brand, but it is new to the Enclave. And you'll notice the changes on the lines here. It's very similar to that of the GMC Acadia, the 2024 GMC Acadia, but a little bit more of a sleek looking front end, at least in my personal opinion, with the way everything is done here. Now, being Avenir, we're going to have some chrome, so if you're a fan of chrome, there's a little bit here, but I don't think there's too much. You'll also find some gloss black, all of your sensors, your parking sensors, cameras from every possible view. It's all going to be here. This particular model comes all-wheel drive, so a lot of benefit where that's concerned, depending on if you deal with a lot of snow and ice or if you just want all-wheel drive. Our tire and wheel size will be 275 on the width. Your sidewall is 45, and wrapped around, believe it or not, 22-inch wheels. You will have an 18-inch wheel with your spare tire, but the good thing is you do have a spare tire. And when it comes to the remote, let's turn around and take advantage of the bright Louisiana sunshine. There you go. That's what you have with your remote. And we'll notice we have lock, unlock, remote start, power tailgate open and close, and the panic button in case you panic. And with the side view mirrors, you have a little bit of everything here. Turn signal indicators built in. They're power adjustable. They're heated. You have your blind spot monitoring built in right here. And let me go in here and I'm going to push this button just so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Whoops, let's push that and wait a second. There we go. They are also power folding. Now, you'll also find your passive entry buttons right here on the front door handles and the rear door handles. That's nice for parents out there who come to the rear doors first, or whatever reason there may be to come to the rear doors first, because you can lock and unlock all four doors from either the front or the rear doors. Roof rails up top, body colored shark fin antenna. Here is our rear window spoiler to finish things off, and the rear window wiper back here. This is what the tail lights look like, everything back here. Let me hit the remote so I can at least give you a little bit of an idea of what that looks like. You'll also find some animation back here as well when you lock and unlock the vehicle. Under the hood, there's going to be one engine option. As of 2025, it is the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It puts out a plentiful 328 horsepower and 326 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Make sure you drive one of these Enclaves before you make a decision on what you really think about that, because different people are going to have different opinions on the experience. Some might like it, some might not. It's going to be hard to tell until you actually try it for yourself. How about the MPGs? Probably hard to see on the screen right now, but we're looking at 19 city, 24 highway, 21 combined, and 4.8 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. If you're curious, the 2025 Enclave has a gas tank size of 19.4 gallons. And you may be surprised to learn that with this Enclave, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds. That's a pretty good number for an SUV of this size. You do have the power hands-free tailgate, and you'll control its position in the infotainment screen. You don't have a knob anymore to do that the way we did in the past. Cargo capacity, depending on how you set things up back here, will range between 22.9 up to 97.5 cubic feet. And you can use the switches to lower the third row and the second row. Now here's the trick with all of this, is we're going to hold the buttons down to lower the rear seats, the third row, and I'll just push the buttons right here to lower the second row. The difference between the two, as we look at everything maximized with cargo capacity here, you'll manually have to put the middle seats back up. Not a big deal. But when I hold these buttons down on the lower portion right there, those lower buttons, that will allow me to bring the rear seats back up. Very easy to deal with. You'll also find some space underneath. You'll also have your access to your spare tire underneath this area as well. Good to know you do have that spare tire. I did mention that earlier in the video that it is here. And there is your panoramic sunroof. The front portion will open, and you'll also find that you have the shade you can draw forward or leave open, as I have it right now. When you get ready to finish things up back here, we just push that button, everything goes and closes automatically. One of the many features you would expect to find here on this top trim level. And let's take a look into the interior and see what your second and third row passengers are going to find. We'll take a quick look at some of the design here on the door panel. The main questions to be answered here always have to do with the armrest comfort. That does seem to be very comfortable. It's large and I like that it's flat. It's nice to have that. Most SUVs that I've seen don't have that area right here that curves up, but if you've ever been in a vehicle that does, that just seems like it would be annoying and maybe a little uncomfortable. Don't have to worry about that here. Large door bin right here, plenty of space. I like that. And as you can see, the seats can move back and forth as far as in their position. They're on a track where they can be moved back and forth to give the third row passengers additional leg room. Now we'll find the Avenir logo on the headrest right here. This will be on the back, this middle row seat, and the first row, the driver and the passenger seats, but not on the third row, which I'm not sure about that. It seems like that should be there. Just my thought on the matter. Nice design with the pattern here. You do have heated seats with the middle row seats right here. Easy access to the anchor points for the child safety seats, the latch system right there. And to gain access to the third row, just hold that button down right there, and the seat basically does everything for you once you do that. So let's hop back here. By the way, this is a 7-passenger model, in case you were curious to know. Now, the seats do come back to about right here. So if they're all the way back, it's a little tight back here. But when they're in the position where they are right now, second row passengers can still have a decent amount of legroom space, and everybody can be comfortable. That's nice to have. I really like the positioning of the air conditioning vents. Instead of having them down here in this area where it seems that it just takes longer for the air to travel to the passenger, and the air changes, the temperature changes not to what it's desired to be, that helps out. I think that's a good thing. And we'll take a look over here on the passenger side. Cup holder right here, a little bit of space right here for whatever will fit, and a USB option. And we'll find the same basic setup here on the left-hand side as well. Now, what about getting out of the third row? Well, if it's the kids, and maybe even some of the adults, they could probably just go through the pass-through right there. But if they don't want to, and whoever's in the third or second row forgets about them, all they have to do is push that button, and again, the seat gets up and out of the way. And there's a better view of the panoramic sunroof for those who are wanting to see it. And some storage space here on the rear of the seats with the rear seat pockets. There are the cup holders and the command center for the third zone of climate control. You'll find back here, dual zone in the front, single in the rear, and everything that you would expect is going to be here. Here's how you control the heated seats that you have in the second row here. And connectivity wise, we have a household power outlet right here and a couple of USB options. One thing missing back here, a 12-volt power outlet. Now there is quite a bit of space, storage space underneath those connectivity options, as you can see. And I try not to leave anything out that I think some of you might want to know about. Here is the armrest that is built into the seat. My opinion on that is that it should be a little bit longer. It just doesn't seem to be quite long enough because my entire arm doesn't fit. Now, depending on who you are, that may not be an issue. And for those who are wanting to know about the sticker price, keep in mind this model does come with Super Cruise, so that's going to kick the price up a bit. $65,765 is what you're looking at. Let's see what else you get for the price beyond what I've already shown you. Here's a look at the front door panel. Plenty of space, a little bit more space with the door bin right here. And you can open and close the power tailgate right there. And you've already seen a little bit of what's right here. You can obviously control everything for your power windows and everything else beyond what I already showed you with that button right there with your side view mirrors. Seat memory on the driver's side, as you can see. And we'll go right here. You can see that you have some different controls. There's your power parking brake, drive mode selector, auto hold. And you have right here something that a lot of you might want to know about. You can turn the auto stop start system on or off, depending on what you want as far as everything goes here. And here's what's going to happen when we hop inside. A very nice look with the new screen. Very large, very modern looking, very easy to deal with. Don't let the screen scare you off. It may look complicated, but I promise you it isn't complicated at all. And as I mentioned in the video earlier, here is your Super Cruise. That's the indicator to let you know what's going on. This is what's going to see what's going on with the driver. And it's very easy to deal with. All you have to do is push the button right here, and it's going to let you know what's going on. Now, it's going to tell you that it's unavailable right now because obviously we're not driving, no road information. If you need to turn adaptive cruise control on, it's going to let you know. It's really pretty simple. When everything is on and you're in the right driving conditions, which is typically going to be an interstate highway, you just push that button right there, it comes on, and you can make adjustments depending on what you want it to do. We'll not go too much into that. And to adjust the head-up display, you can see HUD right here. So all we're going to do is, it's off right now. We're going to push that to turn that adjustment on so we can adjust everything, and you just swipe over to whatever it is you want to change. Do you wish there were physical buttons for that right here? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. And how about our driving modes? Let's take a quick look at what we have. So there is Sport, and you can see the graphics that go along with that. We'll also have Snow and Ice, Off-Road, Tour. We get back to Sport mode right there. So you can see what's going on there. A very nice look with the customizable instrument display. Everything is digital here. A very nice modern look and feel, but still, as I said earlier in the video, very easy to deal with. Your shifter will be right here. So you're just going to pull back on that to go into either drive or go up to reverse if you need to, whatever you need to do right there. But you do have to pull back like this to go into park. Push the button right there. And a quick look at the rest of your steering wheel mounted controls. You do have these shifter paddles up here for the 8-speed automatic transmission and a rear view camera mirror if you need that. That does come in very handy depending on how many passengers you have and what's going on in the rear seat area back there, or maybe you have a large piece of cargo that is blocking your rear view. So that's helpful. Sunglass holder right here, just something very simplistic. And we'll take a quick look. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if the lighting's letting us. There we go. What's on the upper console as far as that goes. And right down here with the center screen, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this because there's a lot going on here. It does have a little bit of a curvature to it to make it more driver focused. Nice to be just sort of aimed at the driver, basically. That helps out. You have Google Assistant, so you can say, hey, yeah, I'm not going to do it because I'll set off everything in your house for those of you who have Google Assistant in your home. But you know how that works if you do. And you can just select it. Tell me a joke.
Which animal is the least trustworthy? Cheetahs.
Yep. Well, you know, the corniness can definitely make you laugh, that's for sure. Now, there is a lot going on here to talk about. So, we've got vehicle status, depending on what we need to do. Nice graphic right there, what we need to see. You can see everything there. Maintenance, gauges. If you want to go in here into your gauges, you can see what's going on. Now, this is one thing that I know a lot of people ask about in some of my other videos, which has to do with your coolant temperature, as you can see right here. On some vehicles that I've reviewed in the last few years, there is no temperature gauge. So if you're looking for that here, that's where you're going to find it. That's nice and helpful. So you'll have that, quite a few things going on where that's concerned. We can go back right here. We can go into trip and air quality. I'm not going to go to everything, but just to show you a little bit of what is here. And how about your views with your cameras? Quite a few. I do wish that that screen was bigger, that it took up more of the screen, I guess would be the right way to put that. But there is your front view, there's your overhead view, there's your side view. We actually have quite a few views here as far as this model goes, and you can go in and look at a few different things depending on what you want to know about. So it's nice to know that you have all of these different views. You also have a rear view camera washer. And if you're wondering, I don't know how well you can see what's grayed out right there. That's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, or should I say Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. But what that is you can pair your phone wirelessly and use whichever you need. That's easy to deal with as well. And you can see right here what else we have. I'm not going to go into everything, but I'm just going to show you a few of the features that are here. Your dome light, power window lockout, camera. You can see what all's here. Turn traction control on and off, whatever you need to do. That's pretty easy to deal with, pretty easy to figure out. And we do have ambient lighting. I should be able to get into a darker atmosphere in just a little bit to show you what that looks like, and I'll show you how to adjust it when we do that. And we'll go in here into settings. Quite a few things that you can do here, but the main thing I want to do is go in here and focus on vehicle to answer a couple of questions that some of you might have. Yes, it does have teen driver. You'll also have the rear seat reminder. Don't think we really need that, but it's there. Buckle to drive. I do recommend that you use your seat belt when you're driving out on the road, but if you need to drive around a parking lot or whatever you're doing where you're not out on the road, buckle to drive does not need to be turned on. That can be really annoying. Super Cruise lane change. You can go in there and change that to whether it's automatic, turn signal activated, or off. It just depends on what you want to do right there. So that's nice to know. Climate and air quality, just to show you what's there. Let's go in and we'll just show you what all is here. By the way, you do have your cooled and heated seats. That's a nice feature. You'd expect that here on the top trim level. But a question that I know a lot of you have has to do with your safety features. Besides all of the airbags that you have throughout the interior, you're going to have some things you can come in here and change. But you can see what's here. Automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, side bicyclist alert, and also lane change alert. For those of you who are waiting for that, sorry you had to wait a while to find out, but that's what we have. So there's a lot here, so much that, again, I'm not going to cover everything. It's so easy. All you have to do is come in here and figure it out. Now, I'm going to go right here because there is something I want to show you here that is very important. If you need to turn your auto high beams on, there you go. That's how you're going to do that. And you also have your auto park assist, and we can go in and see more controls depending on what you need to do. What about your lights? If you want to go in here and make changes to what's going on with your headlights, you can go to auto, you can go to off, whatever you want to do. That's how you're going to do it. It's all within the infotainment screen, but not complicated to deal with. We'll also find everything here for our dual zone climate control as far as the temperature goes, fan speed, all of that's going to be there. And let me do one thing. I'm going to hop out real quick because it will be a lot easier to show you the pass-through that's right here. Quite a bit of space there. There's also a 12-volt power outlet right there. That's nice to have. And hop back in and we'll show you the rest of what's going on here. Here is your volume control, so you can use that for the radio. In case you were wondering, wireless charging pad for the cell phone, and our cup holders. Now, the seats up here do not have armrests built into them because you have the multitasking lid for the center console that also doubles as an armrest for the driver and passenger. The tray right here is removable, and there is a lot of space within the center console, as you can see. And there is what the screen looks like when you pair to Apple CarPlay. And how about the Bose premium audio system? It has 16 speakers. Let's see what it sounds like. Hopefully this gives you a good sampling. Okay, don't want to go too far with that. I didn't make any adjustments to make it sound better. That's just the stock settings, but I hope that gives you a good idea. And we'll start our ambient lighting tour with the back seat. You'll see here on the Avenir, it's going to make its way into the back seat from the front. And there is quite a bit here. Some of it you may not be able to see as well because it's not completely dark in the atmosphere where I am, but this is the best we could do. Now, how do you make changes here? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to settings, we're gonna go to vehicle, and then we're gonna go all the way down here to lighting and ambient lighting right here. And you'll see that you can go in here and change the brightness depending on how bright you want that to be or the lack thereof with brightness. And there are several different color palettes you can choose from right here depending on what colors you want to see. Let's change that just so you can see what it looks like. I'll go over here to the blues. The blues tend to show up the best. There we can see a little bit more of the lighting now. I think a little better. It might not have been as bad as I think it was through the lens or the viewfinder here on the camera, but depending on what it is you want, well, you can make these changes, and so it does look very nice. It may not be Mercedes-Benz, but you know what? You're not paying Mercedes-Benz prices at the same time, so depending on what you want, that is how you make changes to your ambient lighting. There's another color option, quite a few different options where that's concerned, or you can even undo that if you want to. Don't have to do it that way, but there's one option. And just in case somebody wants to see how everything looks here in a little bit darker atmosphere with the exterior lighting, I have the blinker turned on here on the left-hand side. As you can see, it has that kind of a pulsing effect. I guess that's what we can call that. I did tell you earlier that you have your turn signal indicators built into your side view mirrors, so you can see those in action, and we'll have that same effect here on the front end that we did on the rear. We'll go over to this side so you can have a little bit better view. Try not to make it too bright. Hopefully that shows up on the screen and has a nice look for you for those who wanted to see it. And as we get out on the road for a quick test drive, there's a couple of things I did not mention earlier in the video that I think you might want to know about. The steering wheel is fully adjustable, tilt and telescopically adjustable. There is a button or a control over here on the left-hand side of the steering column that allows you to do that. It is power adjustable. You also have massage seats here in the front seat. So that's a nice feature to have too. Quite a bit going on where that's concerned. Easy to deal with, easy to turn on. You can probably see that I turned my seat on right here on the screen. I don't know if there's a glare that's keeping you from being able to see that, but it is there one way or another. And there's a lot of different functionality that you can adjust and changes you can make depending on what you want. So that's nice to have. And I know one of the biggest complaints that I've seen with the new Avenir, or excuse me, the new Enclave, Avenir being the trim level, let's not get confused on that, but on the Enclave has to do with the engine, the 2.5 liter under the hood. What do you think about that? There's gonna be a lot of people that say that's not gonna work for me. Well, you need to drive it for yourself and see what you think. Some people might say, well, it's not as bad as I thought. It does make a reasonable amount of horsepower for what it is. But depending on who you are and what you're coming from or what your expectations are, that will determine if this engine option will work for you. Do I think that GMC should have left the 6-cylinder as maybe the standard engine option and you could have the available 2.5 liter? Yes, I do. I think that would have been a better thing, but unfortunately you're seeing a lot of follow the leader in the automotive industry these days, where some automakers have decided to go to 4-cylinder engines as the only options, and others have done that too. I wish I had my own company where I could maybe set a different standard, but you'll have to tell me what you think about all of that. Overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. It has a nice ride quality, premium ride suspension. It's very comfortable and easy to see out of. Also, a very adjustable driver's seat. So depending on how tall you are, somebody over 6 feet tall could definitely do well here, make themselves very comfortable, not a problem whatsoever. So that's good to know. And you have all those great safety features that I talked about earlier in the video. You can make so many different adjustments to how everything works and get a lot of good information about the vehicle in different places. The technology here, while it may seem a bit daunting for those who haven't experienced it before, One thing about GM's technology is that it's very simplistic. It has a nice modern look to it, but the modern look doesn't mean that it's complicated. So overall, a very spacious interior, not only for the driver, but also for the passengers. Also plenty of cargo capacity in that rear cargo area. So a very versatile vehicle, I would say. Is it better than ever? Well, you'll have to tell me what you think down in the comments section. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think about the 2025 Buick Enclave Avenir. Is this the ultimate from Buick? I'm always curious to receive your thoughts down in the comments section. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Enclave for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.